think I'm using you. Only you, Brian. I'm only using you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Crypto News with Julie Kennis. I'm your host, Julie Kennis. This show is powered by the Gokhshtein News Network and sponsored by Market Cypher. You guys, it is a ugly or a beautiful market day, depending on how you look at it. I appreciate you all for tuning in here. I know everyone is going live right now and talking about Bitcoin. The price, I'm a little disappointed. I was ready with my 69K Bitcoin meme. I posted it this morning, and it was the fastest 69 ever. Ever. It was the fastest 69 ever. Hello, shields. Who has shields? You guys have shields? I still see wrenches on my end. What are shields? I don't even know. Mike Volmer, you did tell me to sell. You did tell me to sell. You did. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Although you have many options for listening to people talk about Bitcoin today, I'm the cutest. No, I'm just kidding. But I appreciate you all for tuning in. So, Mike Volmer, you were number one, as always. Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Peace of my mind is in here. DJ and Brian causing trouble as always. Blocky, how are you, Blocky? Blocky, I miss your lives. I miss your lives. I'm just going to come right out and say it. I miss your lives. We need the drive-in lives again. If I'm not seeing your drive-in lives and you're still doing the drive-in live, I'm sad. But I don't think you're doing the drive-in lives anymore. So if you're not doing the drive-in live anymore, you should do that again. Because that was kind of fun. That was kind of fun. Hello, Black Hat team. Hello, Adam. How are you? Adam coming in with the doxed name. Coming in with the doxed name. So, you guys, I'll tell you, I do not options trade the market. I don't options trade the market. So, I don't long or short. Partially because every time I've attempted to try, it has not worked out in my favor. It has not worked out in my favor. So, what I think I need to do is just clear, reset. I'm super excited because we've had sideways chop in the market for so long. It felt like nothing was going to happen. It felt like nothing was going to happen. Oh, he's going to be a granddad soon. Baby Blocky is coming. That's exciting, you guys. That's exciting. That's exciting stuff. It's more exciting than what's going on at my house. My house is like my dad had his weird little low blood sugar thing yesterday or two days ago, a couple days ago. Pulled the walker back out. I was running errands for him. He wanted to do like hot wings for Super Bowl. So I was on a mission yesterday getting all this stuff for hot wings. I've got it. I've got it. So, but then this morning he was even more vivacious, back to life. My meatloaf was very nourishing. Yes. I made the meatloaf last night, you guys. I make a killer meatloaf. I never even really liked meatloaf growing up. But then I started to make it as an adult and I actually make a really good meatloaf. And so it's one of the few things I can cook for dinner that my son likes, my daughter likes, my dad likes. Like everybody likes the meatloaf. Everybody likes the meatloaf. There is like one little sliver of meatloaf left. Just enough for like a sandwich. Just enough for a sandwich. So, but I got really good at cooking in my younger 20s when I lived in Australia because part of the time I lived in Australia, I was in North Sydney, which is like near the CBD. So I was like getting around on foot, lots of restaurants, lots of stuff to do in the city. But then towards the end of my stay in Australia, I moved up to kind of like a secluded beach area. I lived in a like a townhome. And so it was a very different lifestyle. There wasn't as many restaurants and things like that to go do around the city. And so I just had to get good at cooking. And so it's funny. My dad's always been like the chef of the family. My mom, I don't think she enjoys cooking. I don't think she likes it. But I kind of learned more or less from my dad how to cook. And so Yeah, but he'll see me cook, and then he gets these ideas in his head, like, "Ooh, I'll make this for Super Bowl." Now, my dad, he struggles to get around. He like falls over sometimes, and he's thinking he's gonna put these tray of wings in and out of the oven. God bless him. God bless him. And then this morning, my daughter had a seizure. She's been 3 months, almost 3 months. It was going to be 3 months on Wednesday without a seizure. And she had a seizure. She fell out of bed this morning, landed on her forehead. Poor thing. She's got a big old goose egg on her forehead. I'm actually surprised she's not in here siphoning my viewers. So yeah, she bonked her head. She's bleeding. The little goose egg was kind of bleeding this morning. Surprised she's not in here. But yeah, I do this like nasal recovery medicine, like almost like a drug addict would use, like the Narcan. So, but hers is when she's having a seizure, I shoot this stuff up her nose. And so I shot it up her nose, and we got her back into bed. And yeah, she's doing better. She's up moving around. But that's why I say I'm surprised she's not in here chatting with you guys, because she likes to come mess with you when she's not at school. So, and she's not at school today. So, peace in my mind. You messaged me about the IEP. So, I'll give you a little bit of what she's got going on right now. So, she's in sophomore year. Sophomore year. So it's starting to count on like quote unquote college grades. And so, Blocky, I was talking about you earlier, your driving lives. I was like saying, where's Blocky? Where's his driving lives? I miss it. I was just giving you some love. Yeah. I want your stream back. Not your P stream, just your regular live stream. So when you're done being grandpappy, we need to get you back on there. Yes. That's right. Blocky, noticing the beautiful Market Cipher logo. Isn't that incredible? I should have a link for you guys to open a Market Cipher, like an affiliate link. So if you guys want to open a Market Cipher, or if you guys want to get started through Market Cipher, you can. But I don't have that yet. So I'm going to have to update this once I get my little QR code for that. So, but yeah, I'm super excited, you guys. I have a very good start sort of to my 2026 other than my dad, my daughter, she had a little seizure this morning. So, but yeah, I have had her on an IEP for a while. Last year, they did a lot to kind of make accommodations for her because there isn't really like any special classes to stick her in. It's like all of it is either like college prep or like these very basic entry-level classes. There's like no middle area for her. So she's kind of like stuck in this middle ground where they have her in college prep courses, and she shouldn't really be in like college prep. Like I just need her to get, through to graduate. And so she's been so sick since she was 10 that her learning abilities are behind everyone else her age. It just is, because she had encephalitis at 2020. She was in and out of hospitals for a couple of years, and now she's still battling seizures. We're starting to get a hold of the seizures. We just reset the clock this morning. And so anyway, here we are, sophomore year. We've gone through halfway through the year, so now we're starting into the second quarter. And normally she would be getting ready to start swim. She would be training for swim and doing swim. They told her she can't be in swim because her grades are too bad. So they are holding her at college level standard to be able to participate in team sports. So which she can't. So now she's not able to be on the swim team. So this whole week she's got the pressure of studying for her permit, because today she was supposed to test for the permit at the DMV. She has the stress of now the school grades are starting to count, and people are putting a lot of pressure on her for grades to be able to graduate. And then on top of that, she has other stress in her life of, she's got formal coming up, and, just other pressures of life. So she's had a lot going on, and I feel bad. Like I just want her to be able to go to school. Like that's it. I just want her to be able to go to school, because she's missed a lot of school. And a few years, she was kind of invisible at school because she would be there and then she'd be out. And then she'd be there and then she'd be out. And so for a couple of years, she couldn't even make friends. And so now she's doing better, and it's bummed. So She turned in all of her stuff to start swim, and they ended up telling her, oh, you can't do swim. So she's been devastated about that. She's devastated about her grades. The quarter closes on Friday, which is tomorrow. And so she just feels this crushing pressure on her. This morning I hear boom, she falls out of bed, lands on her head. She's having a seizure. But she's doing a lot better this afternoon. So her new daily medication's doing well, but then she has like the recovery medication, like I said, like the Narcan that we squirt up her nose. So that medication's recently changed. So the recovery med has changed. This is the third time. The first was like a pill that would dissolve under her tongue, and she would be wiped out for like a week. Her coordination would be bad. She'd be super sleepy. On day 3, she'd be emotional and crying like it was just a wreck. So then we switched her to the nasal spray. The nasal spray was a lot better. She could bounce back and maybe get back to school in 2 days instead of 5 days. And so anyway, this morning she had the seizure. This recovery is a lot better. She like pulling out her records, playing stuff in the record player, all the stuff. All the stuff. So it was good to see that she kind of did an about face so quickly this morning. But yeah, she has her formal on Saturday. So she's got, you know, pressure with that. She's never been to like a formal before, and she's going alone. No boys have asked her to go. And she's like, you know what? I want to go anyway. So she has the most like amazing dress. She's gonna look so phenomenal. Like, I can't even believe like this dress on her looks the way it does. I'm really excited to see her all dressed up. So hopefully she can rest today and tomorrow and make it to her dance on Saturday. So sorry for that. I don't know where she is. I thought she'd come in here today. Maybe she's avoiding the chat because she doesn't want me talking about her. She's a little worried I was sending her little goose egg forehead around everyone. I'm like, no. But I do have a meeting with her school next week with the IEPs to talk about her grades. And so they said like freshman year they meet twice and then once every year. I don't know why. But they waited till like almost the end of this school year. Like we're in middle of February. March, April, May. We only have 3 months left. 3 months left of school, and they're trying to meet now. Like, I kind of feel like it's a little late. Like, if you were wanting to set this child up to succeed for the school year, you wouldn't make them do 3/4 of the year before getting everyone together and saying, okay, let's talk about how we help this child with epilepsy succeed this year. So I have to go sit down in the school and have the little talks and all of that stuff. So that will be on Wednesday. So Wednesday next week. So my schedule might be a little funky. I got some stuff coming up. I might have a funky schedule. And I'm doing another super long monologue intro. You guys, Bitcoin is crashing. It is absolutely crashing. And that's really why we've all gathered here today, to mourn the loss of our dearly beloved Bitcoin, which was holding at all-time highs near 125,000 until 1010, at which point there have been rumors of insolvency at Binance. We have been in a downward trend since then. Now, are we calling this today, numero uno, the start of the bear market? Are we calling it last week, or are we calling it back on 1010? So, the market right now and where we're at, like it's just, there's so many different opinions right now. People were saying we were no longer in a 4-year cycle, and we ran that 4-year cycle to a T. And as expected, we are pulling back. So, if you listen to Mr. Mike Vollmer as he screamed at me to sell it all, I hope you did. I did not sell everything. I still have some positions opened. And as I said, I do not short or long because I get wrecked. So I don't do that. Right now, if I knew how, I would throw up the VPN. I would freaking get in a short position and I would say just freaking, it's going down. We're still not breaking out of this channel. So let's go ahead and pull up the crypto charts. That's everything that happened to me before 7 a.m. this morning, you guys. It's been a busy day so far. So taking a look at Bitcoin, I'm actually on a 3-minute timeline right now, just wanting to see how it's moving more or less in real time. And so you can see here that we are having this trend of down, down, down. And we can see here with the red indicator across the market cipher line that it is continuing in this downtrend. So even though we have like green dot print here, we go up, we immediately have another red dot print to send us back down lower. And then we have green dot, oh, we're going back up. No, just kidding. And then we try it again. We even went up, like we were going to maybe go into like a little bullish pattern. Maybe, no, just kidding. Just kidding. It came back down again. In fact, all the way up into here, you can see again, I've been watching these lines here along this bottom retracement. And then I watched the red one print. I watched these two green ones print. And once I saw the two green ones print, I was expecting this pop up here. But again, we are in the red. We are in the red, and we are going to continue to see this going down in the near term. Oh my gosh, look at Ethereum. Ethereum's lost $200 since I looked at it last. It was trading at 2,000 and now we're all the way back to 1,800. You guys, we are round tripping bags. We are round tripping bags. Taking a look at Solana, it is also trading down, trading at $79. This is one of the ones where, you guys, my Solana bag, this cycle went like this. It went up and it went down and it went up and it went down. And I took profits and I took money out and I took money off of Solana and put money on Bitcoin. And then Solana has been just an amazing, amazing trade this cycle for me. I've had a lot of fun participating in Solana, even though some of the meme coins have been absolutely horrendous. We hit this period of relative quiet. And this is where we're at now. Let me finish getting through everything before I get too sidetracked. Okay, Chainlink's trading at $8. Actually, $8 just on the nose, about ready to dip into $7.99. Dogecoin is trading at 8 cents. 8 cents. All right, now let me go ahead and pop it over here to the crypto bubbles. Taking a look at the top 100, it is all red across the board. All red across the board. It's ugly out there. Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin, altcoins, and what's been going on. Because Bitcoin, look, we thought we were going to have a really bullish cycle. They told us we were going to have mass adoption, all of these things. And now we're starting to run into Bitcoin has hit the part of the cycle where it is in a downtrend and it is receiving maximum FUD. They have started to talk about, again, how it's a pedo coin linked to potentially Jeffrey Epstein. So we have that all coming out. And then we have just the fact that really institutions are now holding 20% of this coin, so they can really manipulate the hell out of it. So we didn't have retail enter the market. There wasn't a big surplus of money coming in. I mean, people were making money and the bull market was there. We had no euphoria phase. We had no altcoin season. You could say, yeah, we had an altcoin season. It was the meme season. Okay, I'll take that. But if you want to say that all still, where did it go? Where did it all go? The people who were coming in, there was not huge mass adoption this time like there was, in terms of like, you're going to Christmas and everyone's asking you about your Bitcoin. People haven't cared. People haven't cared about Bitcoin. The only people that have really cared about Bitcoin has been the government, has been Trump, has been, and there's a certain group of people where as soon as they, think of Trump, they think of him using crypto to scam people and have used it to profit off of his likeness right before even entering the office. And so there were just things that were done So if we call the start of the bear market from 1010, or we call the start of the bear market from today, typically we have like what, maybe a year down, maybe a year down. Let's say perhaps this time, because retail didn't come in and it was institutions, that institutions aren't going to leave the way that retail had left in the past. And that is definitely possible. But I think more than anything, this is really just a ploy to scare and shake more people out of their bags. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the people that understand the fundamentals of it and why it's important, they're not leaving. They're not leaving. Yeah, the Binance rumor and all of those letters going out. So you have the 1010 occurrence, and then you have Kathy Woods even going on and talking about Binance, and now you have all of these fake letters, whether there's any legitimate letters floating around or whether these are truly all just people engagement farming. Sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. So perhaps Crypto Brian says the Binance stuff was fun, and perhaps it is. Again, where would it have come from? Where would it have come from? It's institutions creating the FUD. They're creating a narrative. And it's such a poor narrative that they're literally pulling out old narratives. They're recycling the old narratives because there is no good narrative. Because now they have sold it as this is good. We want this. We need this. You know, the price of silver has plummeted too. You guys know I love silver. I hold silver. I'm not worried about the price of silver because my entry was $24. So at $70, I'm still well in profit. There's nothing about silver that makes me sad. But the overall sell-off, the broader market sentiment it's not good right now. It's not good right now. Now, something else I want to talk about in the Epstein files is because all of this is coming out, and I wonder, Mike sold the top of silver. Congratulations. Did you get 109 or did you get 115? I have to physically go exchange mine, so I don't go sell the top. It would draw way too much attention on myself, and I just don't need that. So yeah, we did have memes come and drain some liquidity. We do have the AI bubble. So it did create a different type of environment this time. You know, people who, like myself, have got into Cardano at 33 cents. I got into Cardano at 33 cents. I've round tripped that again. I've round tripped it again. But at this point, this is now my second bear. And I feel a lot less afraid this time because I've positioned myself to where I'm okay. I think I know how many times. Oh man, he's sold 420,000 tons. Yeah. I can't help but feel like a lot of this is really artificial. So, but now we have all the stuff coming out with Epstein. And Vladimir Putin is kind of who I'm noticing because he has been taking like a few speeches. Hello, Chipper. Welcome in. We have been just seeing, I don't even remember where I was freaking going with that, you guys. I said hi to Chipper and I forgot where I was going with my thoughts. It'll come back to me. But yeah, if you were in altcoins and you got back into altcoins expecting there to be a big run. Now let's talk about Ethereum. Vitalik just came out and said layer 2s they lost the plot on layer 2s. You got like FUD from Ethereum Foundation on layer 2s built on Ethereum. That's crazy. But I get it. I remember when I had to bridge to base with my ETH. I hated that. The bridging process was expensive and I didn't like it. And then I got my money over there, and then it felt like it was stuck over there. And then, the run on the coins over there was really strange too. It almost felt more because in crypto you have cabals. You have these little groups of people who work together, who develop things, who have a network, who, they work together. I don't know if you want to call it a cabal or not, but it's like a little cabal. But now you're going to go and you're going to create the base layer on ETH. And then that's like a cabal within the cabal. And so this is where crypto gets funky for me, because we did it with memes. We did it with NFTs. And I see that this just continues to recycle. You will see these different things being built out. And then rather than people going, oh, that's really cool, let's go support it, they'll go, oh, that's really cool, let's build our own. And so now we've got 100 prediction markets. And now there's, just think about the NFTs and the memes. There's all of these communities. And then these communities got to where there was rivalry within the communities. So now you're taking an industry that's already small and you're segregating it out even more so by these different little groups. And so if you don't have people that are working together, mass adoption's never going to be there. Mass adoption's never going to be there. So, yes. Yes. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into some breaking news. All right, our boys over here at Gemini, the Winklevoss twins. As you guys know, they work with David Gokhshtein over at the Gokhshtein News Network. Gemini, you should sponsor the channel. I would love it if you wanted to sponsor the channel. I think I'm almost there. Please. Anyway, Gemini announces an exit from UK, EU, Australia, and slashes workforce. Gemini is a US-based cryptocurrency exchange founded in 2015 and will focus on growth in the United States due to its deep capital markets. So crypto exchange Gemini announced an exit from the United Kingdom, European Union, and Australian markets on Thursday as its company slashed its workforce by 25%. Gemini cited artificial intelligence automating labor and making engineers 100 times more efficient, a more challenging business environment in the UK, EU, and Australia, and for reasons of the exit. So, again, this is AI taking more jobs. AI taking jobs is just another rabbit hole I'm not going to get into right now. We don't have the demand in these regions to justify them, and the reality is that America has the world's greatest capital market. So, which is true. The company will focus its resources on developing its prediction market platform, Gemini Predictions, which launched in December of 2025, and it's building its business in the United States. So the news comes at a challenging time for the crypto industry as digital asset prices continue to bleed amid broader market downturn that began with a flash crash in October and the stalling of the Clarity Act. Again, we know the stalling of the Clarity Act is because the banks don't want to share their profits. Gemini will shift its focus to the prediction markets because, well, let's be honest. Why would we all want one prediction market when we can have 100 prediction markets? So Gemini had announced its highlighted growing a role in prediction markets in strategy and says that it will be more front and center on its platform. So, and I have been using Gemini for probably 5 years now. And then, I do have Market Cipher and I have Trading View. I have both now, Blocky. I am bricked up. You missed it. I was bricked up on Monday because I'm like, yes, welcome to February. Tomorrow is Areolas. That's right. Bringing out the salami nips. Oh my God. You guys, this truly is like, I have been doing this show for so long now, I just don't even care what comes out of my mouth anymore. Like, I used to kind of think, I can't say that. And now I'm like, screw it, salami nips for all. Oh, I promise they're more like pepperonis. Oh my God, I hope my dad isn't watching. The company has said it's recorded over 10,000 users on the Gemini predictions market platform and 24 million in trading volume since its launch. So as you can see here, this is why everybody is racing into the predictions market. I feel like it's just more of an extension of sports gambling, but at this point, I don't know. People are betting on anything. So that's the whole thing is like, I don't know. Are you guys doing any prediction markets betting? I just feel like it's so, some of them are so weird. Like, is somebody going to say squash tonight on, South Park? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then you feel like if these things are there to bet on, is it because someone from South Park is the one who's planting these there? And then they already know because they work for South Park if it's in the script. So then they can just tell all their friends, oh, there's this quiz, then you just go pick yes that we're going to say that, it's just, to me, it feels like the insider trading on this type of prediction market stuff is off the charts. So anyway, congratulations to Gemini though. I love to see there being more companies moving back here, more jobs being created here. Hopefully more jobs being created here because it says, oh, well, we could do this with AI. So hopefully we're not just slashing all of these jobs and just needing less workforce because at the end of the day, I don't know. What kind of a world are we really going into? It's just kind of scary. So, all right, moving on. 3 signs that Bitcoin price could be near full capitulation. So panic selling by short-term holders, extreme fear, oversold RSI suggests that BTC could be nearing the final phase of capitulation. So is it almost time to hit the buy button? We are down about 50% from all-time highs, so it's not a terrible time to buy. But people are saying Bitcoin could drop even further. But it's very, very hard to always time the bottom and time the top, unless you're Mike Wilmer, and then you can. So, but if you're like me, then, we just kind of start to put our pulse, check the pulse and see how things are going. Did the chat go off of the rails? I'm sorry. I'm not helping this situation at all. I understand that. I'm just happy you're all here, you guys. I'm just happy you're all here with me. And I'm happy that YouTube has not banned me yet. I'm happy. And you guys know, tomorrow, I'm back with Joxie for the Julie and Joxie show. Joxie Coxie. My girl's coming back. It's going to be fun. In that show, if you guys haven't caught our show, we're just way more unhinged because we'll talk a little bit about crypto maybe here and there, but for the most part, we're just being completely unhinged for like a total hour. Last time we did it for 2. So it's a lot of fun. You guys should come join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time for the Julie and Joxie show. Okay. So Bitcoin sellers resumed their activity on Thursday as Bitcoin price dropped below 69,000. The lowest since November 6, 2024. Analysts said that Bitcoin showed signs of full capitulation and a potential bottom forming due to extreme market fear, panic selling by short-term holders, and the RSI. So short-term Bitcoin holders have sold nearly 60,000 Bitcoin in 24 hours. Woof. So investors who have held these assets for less than 155 days, which it tends to be like ETF holders, guys. It's ETF holders. So the correction is so severe that no Bitcoin is in profit is being moved through. Okay, nice. So, and we are below what Michael Saylor's average cost base price is. He's upside down. I believe somebody said this morning, $8 billion is how much he's upside down right now. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's definitely not raising any money to, well, I say he's not raising any money to buy Bitcoin right now, but right now is be a good time for him to start scooping up some Bitcoin. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. Bitcoin spirals towards 60,000, heading towards its worst one-day drawdown since FTX blow up. So I put out a video yesterday saying it feels like the FTX scandal happening all over again, because if you guys remember, there was rumblings about FTX failing before it actually came out. And so that's why I say sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. So now Binance, not a lot of people in the US have been storing money on Binance because you can't store money on Binance in the US. It's just, it doesn't work. Even if you try it, you have to like go VPN out into another country and then try. And then that's just a whole other thing. But why would you do that just to keep it on a centralized exchange? Because if Binance goes under, your money is gone. Your money is gone. Now you might get it back in 4 or 5 years when it goes through litigation. You're getting like 75% of what you invested if you're lucky. So it can get really sticky. And whether Binance is insolvent at this point or not, when there's pressure on the market like this and the price of Bitcoin is down, you start to feel the pressure on the market. And then wherever there are any sort of inadequacies or people who haven't been managing their books properly, that is where all of a sudden you see somebody fall. Now, if it's not Binance first, perhaps it's somebody else. And then there's a domino effect, which is what happened with FTX. There were other exchanges that went down and FTX ended up just, being the biggest one. So we could be looking at something like that. So that's why yesterday when I posted, get your money off exchanges, you just never know. All of a sudden they're going to say that one exchange is gone. And if Binance goes away, if something truly happens to Binance, then that would stress test the entire market and all of the centralized exchanges. So it could be a domino effect if one of these centralized exchanges goes down. So if you have money on Coinbase, Crypto.com, Robinhood, Gemini, we can keep going, Kraken, Binance, we could keep going. All these centralized exchanges. There are decentralized exchanges that are maybe a little safer, but always keeping it in your own wallet. The central exchange FUD again. Yes, I am contributing to the narrative. It is down. It is ugly. Sell it all. Send Bitcoin to zero so we can all buy more while it's cheap. Because at the end of the day, you guys, we want the Bitcoin. We don't want them to have the Bitcoin. We want the Bitcoin. We want the power. We want the Bitcoin. So one analyst points out to the 200-day moving average currently around 58 to 60,000 is a potential level of support to watch. Hold on, I want to see where we're at right now. Yeah, we're still at 63. And it looks like we're having a little bit here. I'll just show you. We're having a little bit of like support here, but it's still in the red. And so let's see, we had red dot, green dot. I don't know. We're going to continue up a little bit until we have the next red dot. And then I expect it to probably come down. So, and then if you look, every time we're dipping down, we have these huge channels of being oversold. And then we'll have a little bit of relief and then a huge channel of oversold. So we're having a little bit of relief right now. And then what are we going to see next? Probably 60,000 Bitcoin. Maybe. Okay. Going back here. Okay, Bitcoin has tumbled more than 10% over the last 24 hours, dropping to 63,000 and is heading for its steepest one-day decline since the FTX-driven crash in November of 22. So, guys, I was a lot more afraid of the last bear market because it was kind of like my first real bear market. I kind of came in at the 2019, 2020, like at the tail end of that last bear market. So I didn't feel that like scariness. Like I just got in at a good time. And so, but again, this is like coming into the bear market. This is the time you want to buy. When people are scared, that's when you need to be prepared. So Bitcoin tumbled to 63,000 during early afternoon in the US. This crypto's final sell-off accelerated into a bloodbath on Thursday. The largest cryptocurrency fell more than 10% over the last 24 hours to a session low of a few dollars above 63,000, the weakest level since October of 2024 and below the 2021 peak. It's now lower by 50% from its record high just above 126,000 in early October. So February 5th could be one of the worst days in Bitcoin history. BTC is on track to suffer its steepest one-day drawdown of 10.5% since midnight UTC at current prices. So, and this is from back at the last collapse. So here's what's crazy is there going to be some other event that occurs that sends us to a bigger downside? Because right now, that's kind of how I'm feeling. If the Clarity Act stalls out completely and we don't move forward on the Clarity Act, I think we go lower. I think we're going to go lower. So, and I don't know, just depending on what happens with these centralized exchanges, if it's not Binance, perhaps it's someone else. But if one of these other exchanges goes down, yeah, we're going to see another bigger drop to the downside. And it doesn't always mean that the news is going to determine where the charts go. Go back over here. Because the charts are going to do what the charts are going to do. And the charts will almost always tell you that. But yeah, I think the FUD that we're hearing and what's happening right now, I really don't feel like we're at maximum FUD yet. Some people were still thinking we were in a bull market up until just recently. And so you have to think that the rationale is flip-flop. So if people are just now screaming, we're in a bear market, and we've been in a bear market, the signs have been there that we were there in a bear market. So the signs were there, whether we followed it or not. And so the other thing is too, is now this is where sentiment is. Whether we were having retail come in or not, sentiment is really, it's low right now. People, the doom and gloom is there. There's not a lot more people coming in. And thank you for the sweet compliment, M Ninja. I've been missing you. That's so sweet. And yes, you missed me talking about salami nipples. If you weren't here, you'll have to rewind and catch the salami nipples. You guys, you're killing me today. All right, I can't do anymore. That's all we got for today, you guys. Bitcoin expected to continue to go a little more to the downside. I still think we're going down. And I did. 69, that was my target. As soon as it hit 69, I flipped bullish again. Salami plus tassels. Have I ever told you guys this secret about the tassels? So don't ask me how I know this, but with titty tassels, if you guys are going to get them to go like, cause you can get them to go together like that, like they'll go in circles together, or you get them to go apart in separating circles, right? So the difference is if you have your hand up or not. So if you have your hand up when you bounce, that'll send them in opposite directions. So don't ask me how I know that, but I know that. So All right, you guys, that's the show for today. Thanks for tuning in and listening to me be silly yet again. I'll be back tomorrow with the Julie and Joxie show. We'll have more craziness on the stream for you tomorrow. Maybe I'll wear my tassels. We'll just have to find out. We're going to see if I can get blacklisted from YouTube. All right, you guys, that's the show for today. Thanks for tuning in. I love you. Bye.